Okay, I am back with another quick DIY project from this Playhouse build. I need to put a little climb up ladder here. I want it to have an angle. I'm going to be using 2x4s since that's cheap and easy and durable. I'll be using pressure treated 2x4s. This is a scrap 2x4 that I'm going to use to make my template. I decided to use a 20-degree angle because I thought that looked really comfortable for this short 3-foot stretch up. You might want to change the angle based on how long you need your ladder to be. So I cut a 20-degree angle on the bottom and then a matching 20-degree angle on the top. Made it level with the opening. And now all I'm going to do is hold this board up flush against the side of the building and draw a straight line where that meets there. That way when I cut this part off, it'll be sitting flush against the side of the building with about probably 3.5 inches of length there, and that'll make it nice and sturdy. Okay, so now I've cut that little bit away and it's sitting nice and flush, probably actually about 4.5 inches against the side of the building. So I'm going to make this the template for the two sides of my ladder. Okay, now that I've got the side template made, I also wanted to measure out how far apart I wanted the steps for this. So the steps are going to have a 20-degree angle, just like I did for the top and bottom. That way, the steps are actually going to be level to the ground and easy to use. And I decided, so I think for a kid's Playhouse ladder, somewhere between maybe 9 and 12 inches would be a good spacing for the steps. I went with 11 on this one because when I tried 10, it left me with like a 13-inch gap for the top. So I decided I'm going to make it 11. That way the top isn't a little bit harder to get up to the top of the ladder, if that makes sense. It's not a bigger reach for the top step to get up into the upper deck area. So I just wanted to make it nice, evenly spaced steps for kids to use. Okay, now I have cut both sides of the ladder and 3 steps for it, and I'm about to screw everything together. I have the holes for the sides of the ladder pre-drilled like I showed you a minute ago, and I've also started the screws in it because it just makes life easier to start it when it's flipped over rather than doing it from the side. So I've got the screws started, just making my life a little bit easier. And I have clamped a 20-degree cut board to the bottom or the top side of the first or the bottom rung. So now I can just lay my rung up against it, and the flat surface underneath is going to make sure that this board doesn't stick out further than the front edge of the ladder. So this is the back edge of the ladder, and this is going to be the front edge of the ladder. I don't want this board sticking out. So I'm going to lay this against this clamped board, and it'll help me keep it perfectly where it's supposed to be while I'm screwing it in. Okay, so now I've got everything clamped up, ready to screw. So I've got the two 20-degree cut blocks, so the 20 degrees cuts that or matches the end of my ladder. So if your ladder has a different angle, cut your block with that angle. So I'm holding the board in, or the step in place, and I have the bottom side of the ladder facing up towards me so that the front edge of the step is flush with the front of the sides of the ladder, if that makes any sense. And I am using a strap clamp across the front to hold the two sides together because my other clamps just weren't quite big enough. But I love that strap clamp. If you don't have a strap clamp, they're great. You can use them on round objects. You can use them on squares. They have these little adjuster bits that let you do it on a square, pentagon, octagon. The more little adjuster bits you add, the more corners you can have on your shape. So I love this thing. So totally check it out if you don't have one. Okay guys, now I have the little ladder finished. If you notice, I have actually used wood filler to hide the screws on the side that attach the steps. Just for a cleaner, prettier look. You don't have to do that. And I used a 2x4 to attach this ladder to the wall. So there's a 2x4 between the sides of the ladder. It is attached to the side of the wall with a 4-inch or 3 4-inch screws. And then I've got 2 4-inch screws attaching the sides of the ladder, one on each side, to that 2x4. And I'll paint this eventually. It was just a pretty wet board when I installed it, so I wanted to let it dry out before I painted it. I need to finish painting this. There's going to be some rainbow stripes, so once I do that, I'll change the thumbnail on the YouTube video so you can see what that looks like. And of course, I'm going to have a lot more videos about this playhouse coming, so check back and you'll get more glimpses of it once it's finished.